I'm Beth. Sitting around the table at my sister Lily's apartment for Thanksgiving dinner this year, I never thought I'd witness such a shift in our family dynamics. The air was thick with a newfound sense of humility and understanding. My brother Ryan cleared his throat and said, "I owe Beth an apology." We all do. It all started long ago. I grew up in a family where success was measured by wealth and status. My father, Mr. Thompson, was a strict man who believed in hard work and financial stability. He ran a small law firm and was always focused on climbing the corporate ladder. My mother, Mrs. Thompson, was more nurturing but also shared my father's views on what a successful life should look like. My older brother Ryan was the golden child. At 35, he had built a thriving real estate business. He was confident, assertive, and always seemed to have his life together. My sister Lily, 32, was a rising star in the fashion industry, climbing the corporate ladder at a well-known fashion brand. And my younger brother Ethan, 28, had just graduated with an MBA, full of plans to start his own consulting firm. On the other hand, I was the odd one out. I was passionate about helping others, spending my days coordinating food drives, volunteering at shelters, and attending board meetings for the Rosewood Foundation. My family never understood my dedication to this work. They saw it as a waste of time, a way for me to avoid real-world responsibilities. Sunday dinners at my parents' house were always tense. The arguments would start as soon as we sat down at the table. Ryan would be the first to attack. "Beth, you need to get your act together. While you're out there playing hero with the homeless, your family is here struggling." My father would nod in agreement. "Your brother is right. This volunteer work is getting out of hand. When was the last time you did something for your family?" My mother would sigh and say, "Sweetheart, we're not against charity, but you're neglecting your own life. You need to think about your career, your relationships." Lily, always eager to join in, would add, "It seems like you're running away from your problems by getting involved in other people's lives." I would just sit there, quietly eating my food, letting their words wash over me. I had learned over the years that defending my work only made things worse. I knew that the work I was doing was meaningful, but my family couldn't see it. Then, one fateful Wednesday afternoon, Ryan called me. His voice was tight with panic. "Beth, I need to talk to you about something serious. Can we meet for coffee?" We met at a diner near his office. He looked haggard, with dark circles under his eyes and his hands shaking as he stirred his coffee. He blurted out, "My business is in trouble. I took on some big projects last year, and one of my major clients went bankrupt. They owe me $500,000 that I'll never see. I'm on the verge of bankruptcy. I heard you know people in the business community through your foundation work. Do you think you can help me find a business loan or a partnership?" I was taken aback. Ryan had always looked down on my work, but now he was asking for my help. I told him, "Let me see what I can do. I'll make some calls." He looked visibly relieved. "Thank you, Beth. I know I've been hard on you, but maybe your connections will finally pay off." Over the next few weeks, the family crisis deepened. Lily called to tell me that she had been laid off from her job just 2 months before her wedding. The wedding venue alone cost $50,000, and they had already paid a deposit of $20,000. She was worried about how they would afford the rest. Ethan also reached out. He was planning to start his consulting business after graduation but was having trouble finding clients. He asked if I could introduce him to some of my foundation contacts. Even my parents were in a bind. My father's law firm was struggling to compete with larger firms, and they were considering selling their house to downsize. They asked if any of the charity organizations I worked with might need legal services. For the first time in years, my family was asking for my help. I told them I would do my best. Little did they know that I wasn't just a simple volunteer coordinator. I was the executive director and trust administrator of the Rosewood Foundation. I walked into the downtown office building that housed the foundation, took the executive elevator to the 38th floor, and sat down at my mahogany desk. My assistant, Emily, knocked on the door and said, "The emergency business loan applications you requested are ready for review." I opened the first folder and saw Ryan's application. His real estate company was asking for a $800,000 emergency business loan from the Foundation's Small Business Crisis Relief Program. The second folder was Lily's application for wedding and living expenses emergency assistance, asking for $55,000. Ethan's application was for startup capital and business development resources, requesting $120,000. And my parents' application was for marketing assistance and client development for my father's law firm. I reviewed the Foundation's financial position. It was established by my grandmother 15 years ago and had grown to hold assets worth $2 billion. We distributed approximately $100 million annually to various charitable causes, business development programs, and crisis relief initiatives. I evaluated each application based on the Foundation's criteria. Ryan's business had poor financial management and a high debt-to-asset ratio, making it a risky investment. Lily's request was for personal expenses, which fell outside our funding guidelines. Ethan's startup idea lacked the social impact component required for our entrepreneurship program. And my parents' law firm served mainly affluent clients, not the underserved communities our foundation focused on. The phone started ringing. Ryan called first. "Beth, have you heard anything from your contacts? I'm running out of time. My lawyer says bankruptcy might be the only option." I told him, "I'm still reviewing options." Lily called later that evening. "Beth, time is running out on the wedding venue deposit. If we lose it, we lose everything we've paid." Ethan sent a text asking for updates on potential clients. And my mother called to say that my father was very stressed about the business. I scheduled individual meetings with each of them. None of them asked where my office was or what organization I worked for. They assumed I was arranging meetings at the community center where they thought I volunteered. Ryan arrived first. When he walked into my office, his eyes widened in shock. The floor-to-ceiling windows overlooked the city skyline, and original artwork lined the walls. My desk was larger than most dining tables, and the conference area could seat 10 people comfortably. He stammered, "This is not what I expected." I explained, "I'm the executive director and trust administrator of the Rosewood Foundation. It manages $2 billion in charitable assets and distributes about $100 million annually." I handed him the assessment summary and said, "Your application doesn't meet our criteria for business crisis relief funding. Our foundation focuses on organizations with strong financial management, community impact, and sustainable business models." He looked at me in disbelief. "All these years we told you to get a real job, and you've been running this huge foundation." I replied, "When would I have told you? Every time I tried to talk about my work, you dismissed it as meaningless." Lily's meeting was similar. She was shocked and angry when I told her that her request was denied. "So, you'll help strangers but not your own sister?" I explained, "I help people who meet our criteria, regardless of their relationship to me." Ethan also had his hopes dashed. His application for startup funding was rejected because it didn't have the required social impact. He argued, "I could create jobs and contribute to the economy." I told him, "I have to hold your application to the same standards as everyone else's to maintain the foundation's integrity." My parents were in for a big surprise when they realized I was the foundation executive they were meeting. My mother gasped, and my father stared at the financial documents in shock. I explained that their application for small business support had been declined because their law firm didn't fit our mission. Over the next few weeks, the family faced the consequences of their financial troubles. Ryan had to file for bankruptcy and lost his business and probably his house. Lily lost the wedding venue deposit and had to plan a smaller ceremony. Ethan graduated without the startup capital he needed and had to move back in with my parents while looking for a job. My parents listed their house for sale and were looking at apartments. But I didn't leave them completely alone. I arranged for Ryan to meet with the director of our small business development program for job training and placement services. I connected Lily with the career development coordinator at our adult education center. I introduced Ethan to the management team at our community investment initiative. And I referred my parents to the senior services coordinator for financial planning and affordable housing assistance. 3 months later, things started to turn around. Ryan found a job as a project manager at a larger real estate firm. Lily completed a certification program in digital marketing and got a job at a nonprofit. Ethan was hired as a program coordinator at our small business development initiative. My parents downsized to a retirement community, and my father started providing legal services to local nonprofits. At this Thanksgiving dinner, as my family apologized, I felt a sense of relief. I told them, the work I do isn't about the money or the titles. It's about helping people build better lives. The money is just a tool to create lasting change. My family finally understood that the work I had been doing all these years was not a waste of time. They realized that the strangers I helped were part of a community that supported us all. And sometimes, the most important people we help are those closest to us, once they let go of their assumptions about success.